The Radio Forest Podcast.
Wendy Dio, welcome. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Forrest, and I hope you are.
Yeah, doing great. How did the premiere go for the new Dio documentary?
Oh, it was amazing. It was an amazing night. It was like, I was so elated and seeing so many friends there and just sharing it all with them and seeing their reactions and seeing that they all love the film. It was just wonderful.
It seems like every time there's something involved with Dio, Geezer Butler and Rob Halford are always involved. They must just go way back with Ronnie, huh?
Oh, they're just really good friends. Absolutely.
And you've got a lot of people making cameos in this 2 days in theaters. It's Wednesday and then Sunday, October 2nd. Lita Ford, Jack Black. I'm sure it's easy to get people to be a part of this. Is it hard to narrow it down to who appears? Because the list of people that know Ronnie has got to be
absolutely
long.
You got it there. We there were so many people we wanted to include, but unfortunately, we only had up to 2 hours from the movie, and it could have gone on for 6 hours if we included everybody. No, but we wanted to include just his really close friends. Oh, there was throwing through so many stuff and everything. We worked on this movie for like 3 years, and it was a joy. It was a bittersweet emotions, and I'm so happy that it's done, and I hope everyone loves it.
Now, you've been doing this a long time, taking care of Ronnie's legacy and being involved in so many different projects, going through old footage and putting together this documentary. Does the grief creep back up, or are you so entrenched with it, it's just part of your life now?
No, of course, the grief comes back, and, on seeing certain things or hearing him talk about something. And yeah, it's a bittersweet journey, but, I wanted to put it out for the fans. I wanted them to see the real Ronnie and see what he went through in his life and how he got there. And, my lot in life is to keep his music and his memory alive, because that's what I want to do.
Are you guys still going to host the Ride for Ronnie or the Bowl for Ronnie? Are those still some things that are happening?
Oh, yes. Actually, I'm really excited because we haven't been able to do it since the pandemic. But we will be doing our Bowl for Ronnie, the Celebrity Bowl, with all our celebrities coming in for our charity. And that's on November 17th at Pins in Studio City, California. Do the ride next year.
I know Dave Grohl has been at both from the Foo Fighters. Is there any chance that you're going to stop by the Taylor Hawkins show in LA coming up?
I'm not sure about that yet. As I said, I'm actually in England at the London premiere. That is on the 26th here. And I'm in London on the 26th for the London premiere of the movie. So I won't be there.
Oh, wow. What do you have planned for the London premiere? Who do you have showing up? Any of the same people from the first one?
No, we have Tony Iommi, because he lives in England. We have Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy, and a whole bunch of other people that are coming up. I haven't got the full list yet, but I'll be leaving on the 24th and arriving on the 25th, and the premiere's on the 26th. So I'm excited about that too.
I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but with Ronnie's connection to Tony Iommi and also Geezer, what was his relationship with Ozzy like near the end of Heaven and Hell there?
Actually, the media wants to make a whole bunch of things about it. They didn't hate each other. They really didn't walk in the same circles. I mean, if they'd see each other, they'd say hi and whatever, but they really didn't see each other that much because they walked in different lives.
Yeah, I'm sure you and Sharon would have some things in common too. Do you bump into each other or kind of the same thing?
I saw Sharon a couple of months ago. I was in Montecito in California. I bumped into her there and we had a little chat for a while. Yeah, I mean, as I said, we don't really walk in the same circles, but if I see them, yeah. I mean, Sharon was an innovator, and Sharon and I were the only two women in the music business when we started. We were the only two women managers. And everybody was trying to put us down and say, oh, you can't know what you're doing, give it to a man, blah, blah, blah. And, I was the one who sort of listened to the men and said, oh, thank you very much. And then did what I wanted to do. And Sharon did it the other way and told them to go F themselves and did it her way. But we both did it our ways, and we both came out on top in the end. And now there's a lot of women managers, and they make really good managers.
Yeah, you make an interesting point. There really wasn't that many people doing what you were doing in the genre that you were doing in the era. Did you run into a lot of sexism in rock? I feel like rock and roll is more of a tight-knit community, but surely you still had to deal with that now and then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially, you know what you're doing. Give it to me. No. And there's lots of stories. I'd be here all day telling you all these stories about all the different people, the men managers that I went through that would like trying to get me to stop and for them to do it. But, I held my guns.
Let's talk about something a little bit nicer then. Tell me about how that patch from Dio ends up in Stranger Things. And I believe that's from Ronnie's personal collection, right?
Yes. They asked me about, this is before the pandemic, they asked me if they, to license the Dio name. So, you have to license that if you want to use it. They want to use it for the film. I said, fine. They said, yeah, we're going to try and hunt down some vintage merch and stuff. I said, oh, I've got plenty of that. What would you like? So I sent them a bunch of stuff out. Then I didn't hear anything. And I thought, oh, well, whatever. And then 2.5 years later, which after the pandemic, I saw that they came out and they had taken the old T-shirt, original T-shirt of Ronnie's and cut it and sewn it on the back and made the patch of it. And it was like, I was like blown away, totally blown away, because now there's a whole new generation of kids started listening to Ronnie's music, which I think is fantastic. I think it's great.
And Ronnie probably would have loved that, right? It looked like he enjoyed his time in Pick Up Destiny. I think he probably would have liked that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. He would have loved Stranger Things. That would have been something he would have watched for sure. Absolutely.
Let's go back to 2009 real quick. It's the Heaven and Hell tour at the Greek. I assume that you're there with Ronnie at the time or most of his tours. And I read an interesting story that Eddie Van Halen was backstage. Have you ran into him throughout your career? Surely you guys are in the same circle sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They would come see the show. Everybody would come to see each other's shows. Bruce Dickinson would come to the show and actually get up and sing with Ronnie sometimes. It was just, they were all camaraderie. They all knew each other and they were all really friends. And that was what was wonderful. I mean, when Ronnie played with many, many, many tours with Motorhead and Judas Priest, and nobody cared where they went on, first, last, whenever. They just were all camaraderie and big friends having a great time in the music.
Now, you've got a soundtrack in the fall. What's going to be on the soundtrack? I mean, it's got to be everything from Heaven and Hell and Rainbow and Elf. It's got to get it all, right?
Oh, yeah. And we're going to put some of the doo-wop stuff on there. We're actually sorting through the material right now to find more gems that we can put on this. And Rhino's doing an amazing job with it. And they're going to put it out on 4 LPs. It will be 4 LPs.
Now, hang on. I know that in college, it was like Dio and the Prophets, and he did some trumpet. But what's the doo-wop stuff you said?
Well, he was singing like sort of like Frank Sinatra stuff and Tom Jones stuff and things like that. So, there's a bunch of that stuff in there. There's some great early Elf stuff that has not been heard before. So, we're looking at different things to put some special things on there. Maybe some live shows that haven't been heard before, music from Rainbow or from Sabbath.
I know when Ronnie had passed, I'd read that they sold like 666 of his personal things to auction to fans. And you said that you had a bunch of stuff to offer to Stranger Things. Is there anything else that ever is going to become for sale for the fans, like props? Because he had so much stuff. Oh,
yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I kept back from museum. We're working on a museum right now. We're hoping to open a museum on Sunset Boulevard, but that's in the works. But I had a storage locker full of stuff, and it was like years and years and years of this stuff there. And I was like, suddenly, what if I pass away? People will just chuck this stuff out. Let's just put it up for auction, sell it, and get the fans or whoever wanted it. I don't know. Some people bought things. I don't know where it went. A lot of it went to different museums in different countries. But no, obviously, I still have. I mean, I would never part with the original artwork of Holy Diver. I have that hanging in my office. And a lot of the gold records I wouldn't part with. And then some of the awards he got and things, some of his stage clothes, those are things I kept. And obviously, we'll put them in a museum one day.
2 days in theaters, Wednesday, September 28th and October 2nd. Wendy, after that, how do fans get a copy of this documentary on Dio?
Well, it will go to streaming later on, and then it will go to DVD and Blu-ray, but that will be down the line. We wanted to do these 2 days, so it was a special, just like going to a concert, and the fans could all come together and watch it at the same time and experience Ronnie's life.
Wendy Dio, an absolute pleasure. Thank you for answering all my questions and taking the time to chat with me today. Have a great day.
You too, and thank you for asking me.